So I've cut here along this longitudinal fissure, and then on each side is the cerebrum, or the two hemispheres of the brain. And then once you open it up, you can look in here and see the different structures. So here's the spinal cord, right? I'll point to it with these. Here's the spinal cord right here. And then we've got the central canal right here in this area. We have the fourth ventricle in this area, the medulla here, and then the pons would be in this area. And then the midbrain is this. And then we've got the cerebellum here, and then right in this space is the cerebral aqueduct where the cerebrospinal fluid is stored. And then right here is the superior colliculus. And then right next to it, this is the pineal body. And then this space here is the thalamus. And then right here is the third ventricle. Here is the corpus callosum. And then kind of in this slit here would be the septum pellucidum. Here is the sulcus. And then the inner one is the gyrus. It's kind of hard to tell, but there should be one here. That's the sulcus, and then a line, and then the gyrus. And then the olfactory bulb is kind of hard to find, but it would be kind of at the bottom here, and it would slope off a little bit. And then the optic nerve. So the optic nerve would be probably in this area. And then the hypothalamus would be under here in this area. And then the midbrain is here. Pons is here. And the medulla. And then we're back at the spinal cord. So the difference between white matter and gray matter. So white matter is found in the outer regions of the spinal cord, so in these areas, and then inner cerebrum, so just within the brain. Whereas gray matter is found inside the spinal cord, so in this area. And it's also found in the cerebral cortex, and in the gray matter, that's where cell bodies, dendrites, and unmyelinated axons are found. So then, if we look on the outer portion of the brain, I also just want to point out that sulcus, those are the lines separating the different parts of the brain right here. And then the gyrus are the actual like grooves and chunks in between the lines. So like these. And then just to kind of go back to the cortex, that's just the whole outer portion of this. So it's just this outer portion of the brain. And then there's different layers of the cortex. So the first is the dura, which is the outer layer. And the dura you can kind of take off, and you see like it's kind of peeling. And then the middle layer is the arachnoid layer, which is supposed to look kind of like a spider web, but it's hard to get at. It's going to be the one in the middle, like that. And then the pia mater is the innermost layer in the brain, and that's the one that's actually touching the inner part of the brain. So the choroid plexus is a network of capillaries, and it's on the roof of ventricles, and it's right in this area, kind of by the thalamus. Then we have the hippocampus, which I forgot to point out earlier. So the hippocampus is in this area. It's like right above the brainstem, right before the thalamus, and that's responsible for memory and emotions. And then there's the optic chiasma, which kind of crosses here and then crosses here and meets in the middle. And that's responsible for vision.